But you know what's funny too? Is that, you know, when I go to my counseling classes, because I counsel, you know, Vietnam vets, and they have like on the 6th floors where the real, you know, guys that really, you know, took it hard. And they were up there and they're like, it's an arts and crafts thing. And they're making like wallets and, you know, they're doing like stuff that you see in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. And, you know, I sit there and I try and get them to like, you know, open up. And when they open up, they do this stuff. I mean, like little kids, they'll do this with a paintbrush. They'll put paint on it and just go like this. You know, and you look at it and go, why don't you just like take your time and think, you know? But their thought processes are on, that's the problem. You know, they just, you know, in World War II they called it shell shock. In Korea they called it shell shock. In Vietnam it took on that new handle as post-traumatic stress disorder. You know, and it's all the same thing. You know, luckily, you know, I found a way to vent. You know, but I really feel sorry for some of those guys that are just like in this world that they can't get out of. You know, I get out of my world by doing this. You know, it's like it's a release. It's a great release. As long as you got, you know, kind of a good part about it is we got like Attila the Hun running the show over here. So it's like, you know, he kind of through his energy, it kind of passes on. Yeah. And plus, look what we got. You know, who could be in a better situation than this to, you know, to do art? You know. Get him, because he's going to be the key to this whole painting. I mean, it's all about the gangsters, but he's the man. He's going to take them all down. The Grim Reaper's going to do it. He's just going to get them all. You know, that's why I put him in the middle. That's the focal point. It's when you look at him and you look at everybody else, he's going to win. You know, I mean, they don't stand a chance in hell of beating that man.
They don't realize that, do they?
Not at all. You know, but either you're gonna go to prison and wind up dying in prison, or you're just gonna wind up dying on the street. I mean, a friend of mine, Willie Boy Johnson, you know, I mean, you could shoot a guy like once, you could shoot a guy like twice. They shot him 19 times. I mean, come on. Isn't that a little overkill? You know. What was this 300-pound fucking just gorilla? For 20 years he was wearing a fucking wire. For 20 years he was hooked with the FBI. Wearing a wire.
And he got caught.
Well, he wasn't with our crew. He was with Gotti's crew. I mean, he was the one that gave all that information out on the Ravenite Club and the Bergen hunting fish.
And you knew him?
Oh, I knew Willie Boy real good. He lived like 2 blocks away from me in Brooklyn. But he was just with another crew. So we didn't have like business with him. But my uncle loved him. You know, I mean, he was a hardcore fucking street guy. And for 20 years, he was wired. And then he testified against Gotti. you know, the same trial with Sammy the Bull, and he refused protection. You know.
And then they got him.
Oh yeah, they nailed him right in front of his house. Hit him 19 times. Well, you know, for some reason he believed that John wasn't. He was very close with John. For some reason, I think in his head he believed, you know, I was that close, and you know, John went away anyway, and you know, he's not gonna, you know, do anything from inside. But they pushed his buttons, man. So.
That's wild. Okay.
Ronnie ended up loving this painting.
Did she?
Oh yeah, she just like, just flipped out over this patchwork thing.
Are you ever gonna do more of like this underground? Like, I remember when you started this painting. You started with the backdrop, and then you started putting stuff on.
Right. And I mean, you know, when you look at pieces like this, there's a few other pieces in here that were all like just little pieces of leather I found up in Horses,
yeah,
and I painted on the leather, that tan leather. I don't know, you know, I don't know if this was a long time ago.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've passed it, you know.
Past that state.
I mean, I love it.